Welcome back. Bill Cosby was convicted of 3 counts of indecent aggravated assault after more than 60 women accused him of drugging and raping them in incidents stretching back over 5 decades. Here to take us through how the Cosby conviction was made possible by black women and what might be in store for others accused on a similar scale, we are looking at you, Mr. Age Ain't Nothing But a Number R. Kelly and Harvey Weinstein, is Treva Lindsey, Associate Professor of Women's, Gender, and Sexuality Studies at the Ohio State University. Her article, Bill Cosby's Guilty Verdict, was made possible by decades of activism by black women, ran in Vox. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So what role did women play in Bill Cosby's conviction? I thought your article was really provocative. Your point of view was really provocative because it's one that we're not hearing. What's your assessment of how black women have played a role in where we are with Bill Cosby?
So, in the aftermath of the verdict, I think a lot of people were quick to associate this as the kind of first major Me Too victory. And in many ways, I understand that association, particularly if we think about Me Too as a movement that has been around for over a decade and founded by an African American woman. But the mainstreaming of that in 2017, and this being a kind of next step in seeing how we hold people accountable for sexual violence, sexual assault, rape.
And what specifically is the work of black women that has helped provide that space?
I think it's the work of people like Aisha Simmons, who years ago began working on a documentary that centered on the experiences of African American women and sexual violence. I think it's the work of A Long Walk Home, which is another victim-centered, survivor-centered project that gives people space through arts therapy, through engagement in a community with telling their stories. I think we have to start with places that not only engage and understand the history of racism in America, but also understand the unique history of misogyny and sexism in America. And I think Black women's activism from organizations like that, including Black Women's Blueprint as well, and also Incite, really give us a pathway or a roadmap for understanding those intersections. And I think at the intersections is how we come to understand this moment more completely, more fully.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, if black women, as you said, have paved the way through these individual efforts and these communal efforts to highlight the intersections, largely driven by marginalization, and so black women are able to find a spotlight on these issues by using our voices. But one of the things that I had a question about is if black women have been responsible for helping to pave the way to where we are now, what's the role of other black women? And specifically right now, I'm thinking about Camille Cosby, quite frankly. That one of the things that is the case is that misogyny and patriarchy don't work without the participation and support of certain women.
We all grow up hearing misogynistic and sexist messages. We all hear messages that say we shouldn't trust women, that we should hate women, that we should be competitive with women. And I think unlearning that is part of this work as well, which is not just work that's for men, but for people of all genders. And I think it's important in this moment to highlight, as you're doing, to say, this is not just about powerful men. It's about our society's complicity with the ways in which patriarchy, the ways that we're pushing to hold for accountability, to hold up how racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia play into and impact sexual violence and also just positive sexual outcomes. I think it's important that Black women and indeed other women of color, queer and trans folks, I think are really important in this conversation in pushing forward so that we're able to have a robust way in which we're addressing sexual violence and holding perpetrators accountable.
Right, that's right, because we're not all going to get free until we all get free. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, for your work, for your article, and for everything that you do in academia to spotlight these issues. For more information about Dr. Lindsey's work and how to get help if you are a victim of sexual assault, please visit our website, www.thelastsip.org, and click on How to Help. We'll be right back.